Welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus, and we're almost 24 hours removed from the Vikings' loss for the NFC North Championship, number one seed. It's sinking in, and it still feels disgusting, but we're going to talk about the Vikings' PFF grades in that horrible performance, in that horrible loss. Before we do, subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. We're oh so close, this close to 13K. I can smell it. It smells delicious. What doesn't smell delicious are these bottom five PFF grades for the defense. We're going to start there. And again, it's PFF. No one seems to know what their system is. So again, we just like to match these up to how we saw the game. Does it look similar, or is it absolutely different? Sometimes they line up, sometimes they don't. That's why it's such a fun exercise to do. Let's start with the bottom five defense. Coming in at number 5 was Cam Bynum with a 53.4. I saw him coming up and clean up a couple plays. I think he missed a couple tackles as well. Cam Bynum kind of had a couple quiet games in a row here, waiting for him to have a big one. Hopefully it comes this Monday night against the Rams in the playoffs. But Cam Bynum with the 53.4. Can't argue with that at all. Blake Cashman, a little bit of a rough goal last night. His stat line looks okay with 8 tackles and hit the quarterback once, but he was also missing tackles, a couple almost plays, some coverage lapses. So 40. Oh, no, hang on. That's the wrong one. 53.0 for Cashman. Yeah, I can agree with that. It wasn't his best game in a game where we really had to have him be at his best, which he usually is. So we finally have lost the game with Blake Cashman playing. Dallas Turner, 47.5. I saw him out there a couple times. I didn't really see him do anything positive or negative. He finished with a tackle on the day. Kind of just a nondescript performance. So if they think he had a 47.5, I don't think he did much better than that. So maybe a little bit on the low side, but again, I didn't see him fail. Jalen Redmond got a 38.4. I suppose when Jahmyr Gibbs goes off for what was his final stat line, 139 on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and he added 31 yards to the air and another touchdown. The men up front got to stop him. And Jalen Redmond is part of those men, and he failed. 38.4. It's pretty low. It's a pretty low score. Not his best. He's usually PFF usually likes Jalen Redmond, so that's a little bit the ordinary there. Jerry Tillery was the worst and the lowest graded defensive player with a 35.3. 35.3. Tillery. He's usually good for a couple swats. I think that was Jonathan Bullard yesterday, though. But 35.3 Jerry Tillery. Again, I don't remember saying, oh, my God, Jerry Tillery sucks. He wasn't on our losers list. But apparently PFF thinks he was a big loser last night. Let's go to the bottom 5 offensive graded players. And let's start with number 5. It is Cam Robinson with a 53.4. Anybody in the O-line is guilty. Anybody in the O-line deserves to be on the bottom 5. Cam Robinson, he's just, again, I'm glad he's here. Yeah, I feel like a sneeze coming. Glad he's here, but the penalties, the whiffs, the giving up the pressures, it's starting to add up. And 53.4, I'm not going to argue that one bit. There it is. Thank you. Excuse me. Bless me. Gesundheit. All right, number 4 is Jordan Addison with a 50.2. I think he had 1 catch for 0 yards. Is that where he finished? Yes, 1 catch, 0 yards. Again, his quarterback was off all night long, so I can't really put a whole lot of negativity on Jordan Addison's name. It wasn't like he had any drops or anything like that. Just Darnold had him a couple times and just was not pulling the trigger. Justin Jefferson came in at 3 with the 46.4. I think he had a drop. I think he had 1 drop. I'm trying to remember. But again, when your quarterback's highballing you and not making you putting the ball where you can catch it, which, Justin Jefferson usually catches just about anything. 3 for 54, 3 balls on 9 targets. Again, how many of those were catchable? I don't think it was a lot. But Justin Jefferson, to me, that seems a little bit on the low side. Sam Darnold, 45.8. That seems awfully generous. He was god-awful yesterday. He completed 18 of 41 passes for 166. No interceptions, which maybe saved him here. 2 sacks for 24 yards. Quarterback rating of 55.5. Ran the ball 3 times for 10 yards. He was just off. And KLC could not fix him the entire game. Shooting high, shooting wide, shooting low, not pulling the trigger when guys are open, very indecisive. Don't know what the hell was up with Sam Darnold yesterday, but it was not good. I would have gone lower on the 45.8. I would have given like a 5.8. And the lowest graded player was Blake Brandel. No really reason to talk about this. He's not good. He's got a 42, and he deserves it. He deserves his 42, and he's lucky it's that high. All right, let's end on a positive note. So the top 5. We'll start with the top 5 offensive graded players. Number 5 is Jalen Naylor with a 65.6. I don't know what he did well. He had 3 catches for 53. All right, that's what he did well. He got 3 of his 4 targets, so that was good. Good for him. Number 4 was Josh Oliver with a 66.8. Vikings, Cam Akers had the big run. Jones had 45. We ran for $120 yesterday. Josh Oliver also caught 2 balls for 16, and PFF thought that was damn good. They liked him. 66.8 for Josh. Brian O'Neill, offensive lineman who's graded out well here, 67.5. Brian O'Neill is always steady. Not his best performance. The O-line struggled as a whole, but Brian O'Neill with 67.5 was one of the better offensive graded players, but the offense was ass yesterday. So it's like being the nicest zit on the buttock. Aaron Jones came in with the second highest offensive grade with a 69.9. He ran his ass off. He looked pretty good. He was dinged up in and out of the game a couple times, but he did finish 10 carries, 45 yards, 4.5 average, caught 5 balls for 30 yards as well. I thought Jones played well, and that shows with the 69.9. I maybe would have bumped it up a little bit. Cam Akers, one of our studs of the game, 70.5, busting off that long 58-yard rush. Really wish he would have scored on that. That would have been huge, but he did finish for 6 carries for 65 yards with a 10.8 average. He also caught 2 balls for 4. So Cam Akers was one of the lone bright spots on this offense, and we agree with that, and our opinions and PFFs align, just like the Stars. Let's go top 5 defense, and we'll finish this bad boy. Number 5, Stephon Gilmore with a 70.9. I thought Stephon Gilmore wasn't very good, so I'm kind of surprised that grade is so high. Yeah, what did he ended up? Stephani, 2 tackles. I don't know. I thought he gave some bigger plays in the passing game, but apparently PFF didn't agree with that. Hottie Ward had a 71.2. Not bad for Hottie. He was kind of all over the place early in that game. I like that score. I thought he did all right. Ivan Pace Jr. with a 76.2. The dude was a menace. Should have had the safety in the end zone. Credited to him. That was a horrible call by the refs. He also had the interception. He also had 10 tackles, a fast breakup, and a tackle for a loss. Pace was a missile, and he was used correctly and well against the Lions. That's what Ivan Pace brings to the table, if you're wondering. Remember this game, because he showed out again against the Lions. Jonathan Grenard with a 77.6. Jonathan Grenard is always so damn good. You might as well just give him a score in the 80s every single week, because that's what he's going to do. He 5 tackles. He had a sack, 2 tackles for a loss. Grenard is the man. And then the number 1 graded player was Shaq Griffin with a 77.7. I mean, Jameson Williams was pretty well shut down, wasn't he? He had 6 for 34. I mean, really, they only threw for 231 yards. So secondary, well done. Maybe we should give the secondary a little more credit yesterday than we did. And I guess I can agree with that. I still would have put Pace or Grenard ahead of him, but 77.7 for Shaq Griffin. Well done, Shaq. Well done. You should be proud. You should be very proud of yourself. We're proud of you here at the Onebar Lupagus Show. All right, those are the highest and lowest graded players in the Vikings loss to the Lions. Again, take it for what you will. And again, we lost the biggest game of the year, but the season is not over. That is the silver lining. We can get it all back. We'll get it all back, but we can make our push to the Super Bowl by beating the Rams this Monday night. All right, guys, let me know in the comments what do you think of the PFF grades. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you agree? Do you disagree? But while you're doing that, keep your skull in your hole.